Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Laily Rizky Sofarini. I am from Language Testing and Assessment A1. So today, I am going to explain about Chapter 7 or about assessing speaking. Okay, so okay. Chapter 7 or assessing speaking. So in assessing speaking, there are 5 basic types of speaking. The first one is imitative, the second one is intensive, the third one is responsive, and then interactive, and the last one is extensive. So the first one is imitative. At the end of a continuum of types of speaking performance is the ability to simply parrot back or imitate a word or phrase or possibly a sentence. While this is a purely phonetic level of oral production, a number of prosodic, lexical, and grammatical properties of language may be included in the criterion performance. And the second one is intensive. A second type of speaking frequently employed in assessment context is the production of short stretches of oral language designed to demonstrate competence in a narrow band of grammatical, phrasal, lexical, or phonological relationship such as prosodic elements, intonation, stress, rhythm, and juncture. The next is responsive. Responsive assessment tasks include interaction and task comprehension, but at the somewhat limited level of very short conversations, standard greetings and small talk, simple requests and comments, and the like. And the next is interactive. So the difference between responsive and interactive speaking is in the length and complexity of the interaction, which sometimes includes multiple exchange and or multiple participants. Interaction can take the two forms of transactional language, which has the purpose of exchanging specific information, or interpersonal exchanges, which have the purpose of maintaining social relationship. And the last one is extensive. Extensive oral production tasks include speeches, oral presentations, and storytelling, during which the opportunity for oral interaction from listeners is either highly limited or perhaps to nonverbal responses or ruled out altogether. And the next is assessing speaking has micro and macro skills of speaking, and the first one is micro skill and the second one is macro skills. So the micro skills speaking refer to the producing the smaller chunks of language such as phonemes and then morphemes, words, collocation, and phrasal units. And about the macro scale of speaking, imply the speakers focus on the larger elements such as fluency, discourse, function, style, cohesion, nonverbal communication, and strategic options. And the next is designing assessment tasks in imitative speaking. It has PON-PASS test. So PON-PASS test, an example of a popular test that use imitative production task is PON-PASS. The PON-PASS test elicits computer-assisted oral production over a telephone. Test taker read aloud and then repeat sentences say words, and answer the questions. With a downloadable task sheet as a reference, test takers are directed to telephone a designated number and listen for directions. Score for the phone pass test are calculated by a computerized scoring template and reported back to the test taker within minutes. Six scores are given, an overall score between 20 and 80 and 5 subscores on the same scale that rate pronunciation, reading fluency, repeat accuracy, repeat fluency, and listening vocabulary. And the next is designing assessment tasks in intensive speaking. There are 5. The first one is directed response task, and then read aloud task. And the third is sentence dialogue completion task and oral questionnaires. And the next is picture cue task, and the last one is translation of limited stretch of discourse. Okay, so the first one is directed response task. In this type of task, the test administrator elicits a particular grammatical form or a transformation of a sentence. Such tasks are clearly mechanical and not communicative, but they do require minimal processing of meaning in order to produce the correct grammatical output. And the second one is read aloud tasks. So intensive reading aloud tasks include reading beyond the sentence level up to a paragraph or two. So this technique is easily administered by selecting a passage that incorporates test specs and by recording the test taker's output. The scoring is relatively easy because all of the test taker's oral production is controlled. So teachers listening to the recording would then rate students on a number of phonological factors such as vowel, diphthongs, consonant clusters, stress and intonation by completing a two-page diagnostic checklist on which all errors or questionable items were noted. If reading aloud shows certain practical advantages, there are several drawbacks to using this technique for assessing oral production. Reading aloud is somewhat inauthentic in that we seldom read anything aloud to someone else in the real world. Also, reading aloud calls on certain specialized oral abilities that may not indicate one's pragmatic ability to communicate orally in face-to-face context. And the next is sentence or dialogue completion tasks and oral questionnaires. So another technique for targeting intensive aspects of language requires test taker to read the dialogue in which one speaker's line have been omitted. So the test takers are first given time to read through the dialogue to get its gist and to think about appropriate lines to fill in. Then, as the tape teacher or administrator produces one part orally, the taste takers respond. An advantage of this technique lies in its moderate control of the output of the taste taker. While individual variations in responses are accepted, the technique taps into a learner's ability to discern expectancies in a conversation and to produce sociolinguistically correct language. One disadvantage of this technique is its reliance on literacy and inability to transfer easily from written to spoken English. Another disadvantage is the contrived and authentic nature of this task. And the next is about picture cue task. So one of the more popular ways to elicit oral language performance at both intensive and extensive level is a picture cute stimulus that requires a description from the taste taker. Pictures may be very simple, designed to elicit a word or a phrase, somewhat more elaborate and busy, or composed of a series that tells a story or incident. Scoring responses on picture cute intensive speaking task varies depending on the expected performance criteria. The task above that asks just for one word or simple sentence response can be evaluated simply as correct or incorrect. One moderately successful picture cute technique involves a pairing of two task takers. They are supplied with a set of four identical sets of numbered pictures, each minimally distinct from the others by one or two factors. One taste taker is directed by a cue card to describe one of the four pictures in as few words as possible. The second taste taker must then identify the pictures. And the last one is about translation of limited stretches of discourse. Translation is a meaningful communicative device in contexts where the English user is called on to be an interpreter. Also, translation is a well-proven communication strategy for learners of a second language. Instead of offering pictures or written stimuli, the taste taker is given a native language word, phrase, or sentence and is asked to translate it. Conditions may vary from expecting an instant translation of an orally elicited linguistic target to allowing more thinking time before producing a translation of somewhat longer text, which may optionally be offered to the taste taker in written form. As an assessment procedure, the advantages of translation in its control of the output of the taste taker, which of course means that scoring is more easily specified. Okay. So I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.